because I've been keeping up with the Odyssey, and I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see it. I'll wait for a time. There are a bunch. Okay, not a bunch, but there are. It's going to get me a lot of hate. There are Christopher Nolan movies I've never seen. I've said it. I've said it. It's out there now. I said it. It's out there. I'm going to get so much hate. But there are Christopher Nolan movies I have never seen. I've never cared to see them. I understand he's a good director. But at the same time, if something's not scratching my itch, I'm not going to bother. It's how I've always been. Sometimes I will go back and rewatch things because maybe I'll be in the mood at that point in time to enjoy something like that. But I haven't seen all of them. And some of the ones I have seen, I'm not a big fan of. Some of them are amazing. Some of them are like, meh. And I'm going to get hate. But the Critical Drinker has done a few videos on the Odyssey. But this one is the Odyssey. Oh, dear.
Oh dear, if it's not one thing, it's another. No sooner has Hollywood weathered the absolute storm that blew up around Supergirl, causing irreparable damage to female-led superhero movies and probably James Gunn's career, than another tempest looms on the horizon. And I'm not talking about the kind that this Galadriel cosplayer was banging on about.
There's a tempest in me.
I mean another potentially devastating...
I'm so glad I never invested so much in that. I'm so glad I never invested so much in that.
An audience backlash, this time against Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. It's a film that's already had its share of controversies and criticisms, everything from the postmodern feminist translation of the source text to the cinematography, costumes, historical authenticity, look and feel, and worst of all, the casting.
And it will not be quelled by you, Regent.
Not only is it a movie based on an ancient Greek legend with no actual Greek people in it, but well, the people they actually did cast were questionable at best. And holy shit, did people make their feelings known. At the time of making this video, the latest countdown...
I've only seen Interstellar, Oppenheimer, Inception, and The Dark Knight in YouTube Shorts. Yeah, it's funny how there are those creators out there where you'll say, oh, I didn't care for this, and people will just outright hate you. They have an occult fan base. It was like, why can't people just have preferences? Why can't? Like, I understand a good movie's when it's a good movie, but I'll call out things that I don't care for. Like, for me, I didn't care for Interstellar. I don't need someone explaining to me what's going on every 5 seconds. If you need to do that in a film, then guess what? You didn't make a good film. But yeah, that's just me.
Trailer is sitting at 48,000 likes and 213,000 dislikes.
Oh.
God only knows what it'll be like by the time you're watching this video. Either way though, that is fucking brutal, man. I've never seen anything.
Christopher Nolan is iPhone of the director. You know what? That's the best description. But then again, James Gunn has stans, Zack Snyder has stans, Christopher Nolan has stans who believe like they could do no wrong.
Like this on a Christopher Nolan movie. Make no mistake, this is more than just a few curmudgeons on the internet fighting a culture war. This is a mainstream, widespread backlash against this movie. This is the kind of shitstorm I haven't seen since Snow White.
It's Hollywood, baby.
And it's interesting to compare this to the backlash against Supergirl because in some ways, I can see the parallels between the perception of the two films.
That doesn't make sense.
Now stick with me here because I am going someplace with this. Supergirl had the bad luck of landing right at the intersection of 3 major problems in modern entertainment. 1. Superhero fatigue. 2. Girl boss fatigue. And 3. James Gunn fatigue. All of those factors combined together to sour people's anticipation for the film before it even...
Well, especially when most people's feeling after Superman was meh. Sadly. Like, most people will not go back and rewatch that film. I can go back and rewatch Iron Man. I can go back and rewatch Iron Man 2. I can rewatch the first Avengers. I can rewatch Infinity War. I'll never rewatch Endgame. I'll never rewatch Captain Marvel. I'll never rewatch just a lot of the recent crap that's come out. That's how you know if something's good. Like, you can enjoy something that's bad. You can enjoy something that's terrible. That's how you get like trash movies that are iconic, like The Room. It's an absolute, just objectively terrible film, but people enjoy it with its stupidity. You know a movie's good if you're willing to go back and watch it again. If you're never going to watch it again, for me, it's just a meh. Just a meh. I had a good time watching it. But it's not something I'll ever scroll up again. There's so many things out there that I could rewatch all the time. And then there are the ones that are just like meh. For me, Superman was a meh. Honestly, not even that. I was just like, I just didn't care for it. I just didn't care for it. They didn't know what they were going with. They had no clue what they were going with. But it's a James Gunn story written by James Gunn. James Gunn is way too high on himself.
Released, because us humans are pretty good at pattern recognition, and let's be honest here, we've had a pretty bad run of female-led superhero movies and TV shows over the past 5 years, and we've had an even worse run of James Gunn-led projects. Keep serving up shit food at your restaurant, and guess what? People are going to start complaining, and then they're going to stop showing up. But the Odyssey might be walking right into its own little intersection of stuff that people are getting increasingly pissed off about. For example, 1. Race swap fatigue, 2. Gender ideology fatigue, and 3. Zendaya fatigue. Let's start with the first one because, well...
I'll rewatch Durandar. Yeah, absolutely. Same. I have no problem seeing that again. No problem.
It's first. Now, you don't need me to tell you that there's been a frustrating rise in the race swapping of established characters and in some cases, actual historical figures in recent years. And of course, it only ever goes in one direction. There's this weird assumption that every other culture...
I don't mind it in Bridgerton because that's already a fictional world. If something's a fantasy world, it's okay. It's not fantasy in the fact that it's wizards and fairies. It's fantasy in the fact that it's just fiction. It's complete fiction. It's what if the world went this route instead of this route.
Race and ethnic group in the world are entitled to their own unique stories, history and identity, and it all has to be carefully fenced off, protected and respected. Whereas anything created by white Europeans is treated like some generic all-you-can-eat buffet that everyone's allowed to stick their hands into. Black female Vikings? Sure, why not? An Asian Isaac Newton? Of course. An English Tudor queen who's somehow African? It just makes sense.
Gosh.
You sure about that?
Now, when they're changing actual figures of history, that's where you have a problem. That's where we have a problem.
You sure about that?
Well, no, actually, it doesn't. And you know what? I think people are getting a bit sick of this shit. They're getting sick of being written out of their own cultural heritage and even their own history.
Two goody shoes, Superman is kind of boring. It's not that it's boring. It's that James Gunn doesn't understand the concept of a hero. That's why he couldn't do it. It's not that difficult to do a superhero film or a Superman film. It's really not. But you have to have someone that understands the concept of truth, justice, in the American way, which James Gunn does not understand. He prefers the anti-heroes. He prefers like the characters who are like, you know, a little misunderstood. That's his wheelhouse. He knows nothing about a hero.
They're getting sick of being labeled racist just for pointing out something that's provably, verifiably bullshit. And they're getting sick of being expected to just shut up and accept it. Which is why the casting of Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy, one of the most iconically beautiful women in all of literature, hit a bit of a sore spot for a lot of people and probably came at the worst possible time. Now, personally, I like Lupita Nyong'o. I think she's a talented actress, but come on, man, there's no fucking way.
People need to stay in their lane. Stay in their lane. Like that. You can be an amazing actor, but there are just roles you can't play. Like as much as I'd like to see Ryan Reynolds portray Martin Luther King and Ryan Gosling portray Obama, as much as I'd love to see those films, it's just not right to do it. It's absolutely not right. It's and poor taste. Absolutely poor taste. You're basically eradicating the history of someone. Which you shouldn't.
You're convincing me or anyone else that she was the right person to play this role.
It's an act of lunacy.
That's right, Sean Connery, it is. You know what's also an act of
The
lunacy?
Rock.
Casting Elliot Page in this movie, which brings me neatly along to my second issue in the unholy trifecta, gender ideology. Now, we all know that Elliot Page recently transitioned from female to male, and that's fine by me. I hope he's living his best life now and that he's happy and fulfilled. But it does create a bit of a problem when it comes to casting, because Elliot Page is 5'1" and weighs about 90 pounds soaking wet. He makes Millie Alcock look positively statuesque, and no amount of shadowboxing videos is going to change that. Notice how they put him next to the smallest man they could possibly find to try and make him look bigger? Well, your Jedi mind tricks won't work on me, son. Anyway, he's playing a Greek soldier named Sinon, who was never actually mentioned in the Odyssey or even the Iliad, but who cares at this point because we're just winging this shit. But I mean, How? What the fuck is he supposed to fight against? I mean, his own armor probably weighs more than he does. The moment he's on screen amongst other men, he's gonna look like a small, malnourished child playing at soldiers. Believing this kind of crap requires the same kind of mental gymnastics that allows 5'3" Scarlett Johansson to beat up a room full of men twice her size. Again, it's something we've all had to collectively suffer through for like a decade now, this notion that men and women's fighting potential is even vaguely comparable, and well, nobody buys it anymore.
Well, the thing is, like, you can fight off as a woman. You can, especially if you're trained. The thing is, the training for a woman to take down a guy is completely different than the training for a guy. Completely different. You have to use your lower center of gravity. You have to use their weight against them. You have to use their movement against them. You have to be able to move quicker. As long as you can do that, it's more believable. But being able to throw them, kick them, punch them, pick them up is nonsensical. But being like falling on your back, using your legs to try as they're running towards you to flip them over you, more believable. Absolutely more believable.
Man, especially in a movie made by Mr. Ultra Serious Christopher Nolan. This isn't some cheesy action flick or a dumb superhero movie where believability sits firmly on the back burner. This is meant to be a grounded, realistically portrayed narrative, and it looks ridiculous. The third issue is a less prominent one, but I do get the feeling it's becoming more prevalent as time goes on, and the best way I can describe it really is Zendaya fatigue. Right now, it just feels like the girl is fucking everywhere. Not only is she in...
I still haven't seen Dune. Because that's the thing. I saw her in Spider-Man, and I'm like, all right, I've seen enough of her. And then, of course, I watched the Greatest Show. And it was like, why? Like, she's everywhere. I'm one of those people that adamantly normally avoids when people try to force things down my throat. Can she act? Yeah. But it doesn't mean I want to see her in every gosh dang thing. There are times where I'm in the mood to see like a Tom Cruise film. And I'll just start going through his geography. Geography? Is that how you say it? Geography? I'll start going through his film list. I don't want to start doing that by accident. Go to the movies like every now and then, and every time it just happens to have Zendaya in it. Why? I'm upset that I even know her name. That's how you know it's gone too far. It took me years to know Tom Cruise's name. It took me years to learn Arnold Schwarzenegger's name. It took me years to learn Sylvester Stallone's name. It took me years to learn Ryan Gosling's name. Because I'm someone, I don't care about the actors. I do not care. I care about the characters they portray. I can hate an actor like Mark Hamill, but I can love the characters they portray. Like, what is it? There's the Edgar Allan Poe. Nevermore? Yeah, Nevermore. I love his portrayal in Nevermore as like a serial killer. I love his portrayal as Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy. I love him voicing the Joker. One of the best casts as voicing the Joker. Absolutely. But Mark Hamill is completely insane. The characters he portrays, pretty good though. Pretty good.
4 separate high-profile movies this year alone, plus Euphoria on TV, but she also seems to be getting lavished with so much news coverage and fake praise that it's becoming exhausting. Again, much like Lupita Nyong'o, I've got nothing against her on a personal level. She seems pleasant enough and she usually comes across well in interviews. I mean, I can't say I'm a huge fan of the perpetually confused scowl that seems to pass for her acting style, but maybe that's just a personal thing. The point though is that her rise to fame just feels
unnatural.
AstroTurfed. She feels like an actress that's popular because someone in Hollywood decided she was going to be popular, and not because there was this huge swell of fan support for her. She's like a mid-card wrestler suddenly given a main event push because the bookers want to see if they've got headliner potential.
Yeah, it's unnatural.
Sometimes it works, but most of the time they fizzle out after a few years, and well, I've got a feeling I know which way she's going to go. Now, if I was casting the Greek goddess Athena, I'd be looking for an actress with an insane level of charisma, screen presence, and gravitas, not to mention acting range, and unless there's something about her that I've somehow missed over the years, I just don't see any of those qualities in Zendaya. I think she's gonna have to dig real deep for this one, only to discover she doesn't have a big enough shovel. Ultimately though, maybe this backlash from—
That's a good comparison. Zendaya is Akshay Kumar of Hollywood. Yeah, basically. Basically, but it fizzles out. It fizzles out quickly.
For all its noise is just confined to the internet, and the normies out there couldn't give a shit about any of these casting controversies. I mean, Christopher Nolan is one of the few star directors out there who can sell tickets on his name alone, so I definitely wouldn't count him out with this one. Is it gonna reach Oppenheimer levels of success? Probably not, but I do think it'll turn a healthy profit. And what the hell, maybe he'll surprise us all and create a genuine masterpiece with the Odyssey, but I don't know, man. I've got this weird little feeling that he might have gone a bridge too far with this one. Either way, we'll find out in a couple of weeks. Anyway, that's all I've got for today.
Holy crap. Again, Christopher Nolan is one of those that I think is, has he done some good films? Sure. But I don't idolize people. I can enjoy the work they create. What is it? Separating the art from the artist? I have no problem doing that. I've always done that. Luckily, I was in a time where social media was a thing, and the actors were literally letting the world know how out of touch they are. They still do that, by the way. They still do that. They are so out of touch with reality that it is so easy to be like, yeah, this person's a retard. Sad part is they don't know they're a retard. But they can play a good character. They can play a good character that, of course, is nowhere near what they personally believe as a retard. It's normally the case. That's normally how it works. That's normally how it works.
You guys got a video? Why is it so bad?
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait on that.